This is George from High Tech Legion. As we see more and more development in PSUs and greater efficiency, we're naturally seeing more and more 80 plus platinum power supplies coming along onto the market. Today we're going to take a look at a piece from Xigmatek, the new Stealth Vector P series. This is a 700 watt power supply, 80 plus platinum, and semi-modular. So, getting a look at the new Stealth Vector P700. First off, really nice packaging from Xigmatek. Definitely a couple things on the box worth taking a look at here. Obviously, as we said, 80 plus platinum, 700 watts. Platinum cable management, it's a semi-modular system. You do have your 24 pin plus a 4+4 pin and an 8 pin right off the unit. Everything else is going to be modular. Going down, if you take a look, it mentions reverse thrust technology. This is actually pretty interesting. Good idea from Xigmatek. When you first start up your build, what's going to happen is the fan is going to spin in reverse at full speed for 30 seconds. This is going to blow any dust out of your dust screen or away from the unit itself. So you're going to get rid of the dust, blow out all the dust. It's then going to turn around and run in normal rotation, full speed for 10 seconds before falling into a managed state. The 135 millimeter fan is going to run obviously slowly at idle, and as heat builds it will of course spin up in order to dissipate the heat. Now going around the back very quickly, take a look at the important parts here. 700 watt unit, 696 watts on a single 12 volt rail, 75 watts combined between the secondary 3.3 and 5 volt rails. So you've got good power delivery right there. As I say, the 80 plus platinum. Your chart here for your cables, the 120 plus 4, 12 volt 4 plus 4, 12 volt 8 pin. You've got 4 PCIe, or I should say, 4 PCI Express 6+2 connectors, 4 4-pin Molex, 9 SATA cables, and 1 floppy connector. Of course, 6-way protection, as well as ATX 2.31 certified, ATX 2.3 certified, as well as EPS 2.92. It is Haswell and C6 ready, so no problems right there. Now taking a look at the unit itself, really a nice looking unit and very different looking. First off, it is completely stamped, so you've got a design on the side as you see, and around the other side you've got a mirror of the same design but with this Stealth Vector logo right on it. Now as you see above that on both sides, you've actually got slots here, so it actually does breathe through the two sides of the case. This is going to be used to help dissipate heat from the PSU. The one caveat there of course being it is going to be putting a little bit of warm air into your case, so depending on the situation it works. Double-edged sword, works well for the power supply, may not be so great for the rest of your components in your case, but I don't imagine you're going to get enough warm air out of these little slots to make any difference. Going up top, once again, got your power chart, 80 plus certification, and Vector 2 and Xigmatek logo. Around the back, nice, very open, as you can see. So it's going to breathe very well, which is why those side slots aren't going to be really a big deal. You're going to get the bulkier at the back of the system. It's very well ventilated. Moving around to the other side, see our modular connectors. As you can see, 2 PCI Express and 4 peripheral, and the attached cables themselves. Everything is sleeved in black fabric, as you can see, not all the way to the end, but still good looking sleeving and a nice looking unit. Like I say, very interesting unit, very carved, chiseled. It's got a lot of odd angles on it, good looking fan up top, so it's going to look really nice in the case in addition to supplying 700 watts with 80 plus platinum. In terms of accessories, start out, installation manual, very simple, cable connectors, multilingual, simple installation manual. Like I say, it is illustrated and with the specs. Moving on, get a nice carrying bag for your cables, Xigmatek logo on the one side, mesh on the other. Open it up, let's take a look at the cables themselves. Once again, black sleeving, not all the way to the end. on any of the cables. As you see, like I said, 9 SATA cables, or I should say 9 SATA connectors on 3 separate cables, so 3 per. One cable with 4 4-pin Molex floppy connector. Get 3 zip ties as well as 4 black screws for mounting. 2 PCI Express cables, each with 2 6+2s. And finally, power cord. Nice looking power cord, as you can see. Looks to be 16 or an 18 gauge. Let's see, is it marked? No, it is not marked, so I'm going to say definitely it's a 16 or an 18. Can't really tell, but either way, very, very sufficient. Alright, we've seen that the Vector is a very good looking unit, but of course power delivery is the main thing. Since the Vector is SLI and Crossfire ready, we're going to put it into a build that's going to take advantage of that and see exactly how it performs under load. In terms of performance and power delivery, the P700 Vector did very, very well. We really had no problems whatsoever with regulation. The regulation was actually very, very good. And that went for all 3 rails, not just 12 volt, but the 5 volt and the 3.3 as well. The one thing that was a little odd, the 12 volt was a little hot in this particular unit. Now when I say hot, I'm not talking about temperature wise. It was running at idle at about 2.38 volts and dropped down to 2.28 volts under full load. Now that is a little hot, still within spec, and of course you'd rather have it a little hot than a little undervolted, you know, as the case may be. But other than that, really no concerns whatsoever. Like I say, very good regulation, power delivery, no problems at all. Now in terms of noise, the reverse thrust was kind of odd. When you turn it on, you know, you get this burst of air for about 30 seconds, but then the Vector goes absolutely dead silent. Even under heavy loads, it stayed really, really quiet. It was very, very impressive in terms of silence. Really, no problems with that whatsoever. You could actually watch the fan spin up, you know, as it was getting hotter, and the unit itself never got hot, wasn't exhausting, you know, any real hot air. So the thermals on it were really fantastic. No complaints whatsoever. So all around, as far as performance, it was great. The one thing I didn't love was the cables themselves. Really, you know, just too much of there wasn't really any thought into the modular design. You know, you've got 3 cables with 3 SATAs each. You've got 1 cable with 4 pins. No mixing, no matching. You know, just you have to wind up using more cables than you really need to. Had it been a little bit better thought out, I would have liked to have seen like 2 SATAs, 2 4-pins on 1 cable. You know, do a little bit of mixing and matching, make it a little bit easier, take advantage of the fact that it is semi-modular, and they didn't do that. But other than that, I mean, obviously, no problem with the accessories. You know, you're talking about otherwise 4 screws, and you know, it's a nice little carrying pouch and storage pouch for your excess cables. So I'm going to give the Vector P700 a High-Tech Legion Silver Award. Good power delivery, like I say, very, very quiet, but it did run a little bit hot on the 12 volt rail, and also, you know, like I say, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more thought put into the modular cable system.